All right, let's get right into it. I want to talk about a truly wild idea, one that connects a piece of ancient physics to, well, a future on a planetary scale. It sounds like pure science fiction, but you know what? Its roots go back 2,000 years. So let's just start with a question that sounds completely impossible. What if the ocean, the entire ocean, could pump itself? What if it could move massive amounts of water wherever we wanted, nonstop, forever? And get this, what if it needed absolutely no electricity to do it? No giant spinning turbines, nothing like that. And here's the real kicker. What if this massive, planet-sized pump had zero moving parts? Seriously, no gears to brake, no rotors to maintain. How is that even possible? Well, the answer isn't hiding in some high-tech lab of the future. It's actually buried deep in our past. The key to this whole thing is a brilliant, almost magical invention from the ancient world. It's called Heron's fountain. It was invented way back in the 1st century AD, and honestly, it looks like a magic trick. The simple version is this. Falling water in one sealed container compresses air. That air then pushes water out of a second container, creating a fountain that shoots higher than its own water source. It looks like it's powering itself. It's just a beautiful little piece of physics. And for 2,000 years, this simple, elegant principle has just been sitting there, basically hiding in plain sight. We've treated it like a cool little novelty, a toy for a science classroom. But what if it's so much more? And this is where we get to the real aha moment. This is the question that flips the whole thing on its head. What happens when you stop thinking of this as a small desktop toy and start thinking on a scale that, honestly, no one ever dared to before? What happens if you make it the size of a mega ocean? You see, this is the pivot. When you apply this principle at a planetary scale, something incredible happens. The fundamental forces of the Earth itself, they take over. Look at this transformation. What was a small-scale, ancient toy becomes a future engine for the entire planet. What was a simple demonstration of physics becomes a way to, well, literally weaponize physics for our benefit. At this massive, massive scale, the forces just completely change their roles. The constant pull of gravity, that's not a limitation anymore. It becomes the engine that drives the whole system. And the immense water pressure you find in the deep ocean, that's not just a static force. It becomes the fuel. So the whole formula is just shockingly simple. All you need is the Earth, the basic laws of physics, and a completely new sense of scale. No outside power necessary. So, okay, this sounds cool as a concept, but what could you actually do with it? Well, once you have an ocean that pumps itself, the possibilities are kind of mind-blowing. This isn't just a thought experiment. We're talking about tangible, world-changing stuff. Just think about it. Coastal cities could get a literally endless supply of pumped water for free. You could make entire regions completely drought-proof by creating huge oceanic irrigation grids. We could power mega-floating cities or build desalination towers that operate with the force of a hurricane, all of it driven by this one simple, ancient idea. And that brings you to this really stunning realization. We might have had the key to solving some of our biggest problems this whole time, and we just forgot about it. Or maybe we just never learned to think big enough. The source material puts it perfectly, I think. It says, Heron accidentally discovered the master key of water engineering. It was never just a toy. It was a blueprint. And that kind of creates this sense of urgency, right? The source argues that engineers are basically sleeping on this idea. But with the challenges our planet is facing, maybe the world can't afford to let this idea stay asleep any longer. So we're left with this one big, provocative question at the end of all this. If an ancient 2,000-year-old key to our future has been sitting right in front of us this whole time, why aren't we even trying to put it in the lock?